What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Black Lagoon, this time of episode 5. I'm going to be looking forward to today's episode. We have some really interesting setup with some Nazi soldiers during last episode and seeing them die, but there was a quite substantial painting they were looking after for the Führer, which I think we're going to be looking forward to today after we've got some scuba gear, but kind of remnants of those Nazis going to be coming back looking for it. So yeah, pretty interesting setup we got. Let me know what you guys think about this episode though down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And let's get right into it. I have kind of forgot I do have to mute the opening, but so if I remember to turn the sound back on. But yeah, I should have known that this show would have Nazis in it. I don't know. I feel like quite a few action shows like this just kind of have that vibe of like, you know what's cool? That's some Nazi soldiers. It's a little bit like Metal Gear Solid, which I'm playing a lot right now. So, oh, you know what? You know what's cool? That's some zombies. I mean, there's a lot more than zombies in yeah. I've been watching some crazy stuff recently as well. I literally had to go to a place called like Effed Up Movies to watch a movie called Itchy the Killer, and it was pretty good. It wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be. I heard some really crazy stuff. It was in terms of sexual kind of assault. That was I wasn't expecting as much as that as we got there, and horrible liquidy images is all I'll say. But yeah, the violence and such wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest with you. It was pretty cool. I liked it. Very strange. Definitely looking forward to watching more. I watched it because I know this is like totally unrelated, but I watched it because I watched One Missed Call from the same director a few months ago, which I thought was alright. I heard that he was like a legendary Japanese reactor, legendary Japanese director. I'm gonna be checking out more of his movies for sure. Again, that's not feel bad for these guys, and no one cares. Again, who cares? Those are awful. I can't imagine that's a nice way to go out, being suffocated. I wouldn't like either being suffocated or drowning to death, to be honest. Both pretty horrible ways to go. Then again, who is anyone to say stuff like that when you've never experienced that till you die, and then you can't be like, oh yeah, that was a horrible way to go. So you don't really know, but I just imagine it to be not so great. See, he actually done this guy a bit of a favour, to be honest, shooting him. This guy's gonna run out of bullets for himself. And I'd be quite happy if he did. You're not holding it. It's pretty amazing she's figured that out. Well, there it is. Indeed it is. And it's in pretty good shape. How are we planning on getting this out without it getting wet? Oh, I imagine it's maybe already got wet. I don't know. What if this show does also have Nazi zombies? Start grabbing them. No, I don't think this show will go too far. I don't think this show will have zombies. Doesn't seem like that kind of show. Maybe it will. I don't know. You never know. Suicide corpse. Is that how you spell Aryan? Didn't know that. What are they doing? Kind of a little bit like they're beating their meat. Man, I wish we could just like blow them up right now. What a perfect time it would be. What did they say there? Fucking. Adam says fucking. That's the only bit I can understand from that. Fucking. Fuck the Nazis, yep. Oh yeah, this guy, obviously. If he's Jewish. Obviously, fuck the Nazis. Again, I think my favourite might be pretty obvious. I haven't seen too much movies with Nazis, to be honest. It's never really been too much interest to me. But Inglourious Bastards, yeah, obviously my favourite movie that covers Nazis. I think that's like one of the only ones I've seen, to be honest. Again, I don't really have too much interest in that. Yeah, I loved Inglourious Bastards. I think that was the first Tarantino movie I watched. Odd bit of equipment there, isn't it? A pumpkin. They've got to manually direct. Really? Again, I don't think we should show these guys any respect, even in death. And what did these people do? They were Nazis. Even though we did see that the commander was like, he was an alright seeming guy. He only wanted to fight for his country and not Hitler. He still inevitably ended up helping the Nazis, and I think that train of thought is not good. Like, yes, you want to fight for your country, but if you know something's wrong, you shouldn't just do it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't agree with this. I'm absolutely fine with us stealing, stealing all this, to be honest. This is going to be in a little bit of a past here. I would like to hear more. things. It's a good point she makes here. It is us as humans that give value to these things, isn't it? Even like sentimental value or money value. It's like, yeah, she makes a really good point there. Fair enough. Guns and money. Again, I kind of agree with her. I won't go that far, but I can appreciate a strain of thought here for sure. In general, it's like people obviously people have their own ideas of how to live their lives. Probably they have ideas of how to live other people's lives as well. But live your own life. You shouldn't tell someone what to do with their life, and especially if you know nothing about who they are and where they came from and so on. Shouldn't be so judgeful. That's why I was going to bring this up earlier. I really hate these labels that go by nowadays. Like these are examples here. Like Zionist and like anti-Semitism and transphobic or fatphobic. I really hate labels like that. I mean, if someone's awful in terms of they're extremely like racist, for example, yes, you can. Yes, they're like racist. I mean, it just feels like people call each other these things so lightly nowadays. I mean, even if they are, it's a hard topic, but people just like they put these labels and like they totally deny any thoughts from that person. And in that regard, in terms of them being like maybe a racist, you should disregard any thought they have towards racism, and if they are like transphobic, you should disregard any thought they have towards trans kind of rights and such. But I don't think you should disregard every kind of idea. Again, it sounds bad because, yeah, it kind of sounds bad me saying it, but one, people just put out those labels way too easily and quickly on people. Like, oh, you want the best. Like, if I was to tell someone who was fat to lose weight, that would obviously be a harsh way of saying it, but that would be the best thing for that person. Like I just said, maybe you shouldn't tell someone how to live their own life, but someone would maybe just would label me fatphobic and they'd never listen to an opinion of mine ever again. And I think we just disregard and kind of write off people's opinions and such way too quickly, and by giving off these labels and such nowadays. Don't know if you've noticed it, but I especially hear people, maybe it's because of the social media kind of rise and such, but you hear people just calling each other like so many of these like trigger word names that sound awful, and yeah, it's just people use that as weapons a lot and such nowadays. It's yeah, quite an interesting thing I've seen. I don't think you should label someone something again unless you've seen something extreme from them, or you know that, or you know that for like an absolute fact. Again, people just chuck that stuff around way too quickly nowadays, and again tell people. You guys know my saying. I'm racist. I'm sexist. I think everybody is, because everybody's got preconceived notions. If I see a black person in the street, I'm gonna. I know that's a black person, so they're going to be different from if I see a white person in the street, most likely anyway. I mean, again, there's always exceptions, but I'm sexist because I see a girl on the street. If I was to walk up to her and talk to her, she'd be very different to talk to than if I was to walk up to a black man on the street or a white man on the street. Or everybody's got these preconceived notions, and everybody's racist and sexist to a degree, and that's just how your mind works. A lot of time, preconceived notions are there for a reason. Stereotypes, a lot of the time, people maybe find that offensive, but stereotypes are a thing in our minds for a reason, because a lot of the time, again, there's always exceptions, a lot of the time they're true. Obviously there's some terrible kind of stigmas that go with especially with like race and sex against people, which obviously I don't agree with, but again, I think to a certain degree all of our minds are just kind of built to work on expectations. Like, again, if you talk to a white guy and a black guy, I think your expectations of the conversation should be different. If they're not, then I think maybe that's true kind of equalism, I don't know. But if they're not, I think there's actually probably something wrong with you if you don't think there's going to be something different from talking to a black person to a white person. I don't know. And like, am I considered fat phobic because I want fat people to make themselves healthier? Apparently, yes. Again, I don't really get involved in conversations like that on the internet. I just see it a lot of the time. That seems what the algorithm's kind of built towards. Controversial topics like that. But yeah, I never really get involved in it. As I said, I'd be quite hypocritical to get involved in topics like that. The rat stole it. Yeah, it doesn't just go down to like race and such, does it? It's like, if I see a shaggy white person, I'm gonna expect to talk to them differently than a white guy in a suit. It's like everybody's got ways of judging things. I don't think there's such thing as true equality. I don't think there can ever be. Good. Let's wipe these bastards off the map. I hope she is. And in real history, I've got absolutely no idea on like I remember learning in school about the Nazis and stuff, but again, I really didn't take too much of it in, to be honest. Like, I know the kind of main aspects and such, but like I don't know if there was any Chinese involvement or anything. I'm not sure if she's got anything like against the Nazis. I've never heard about the Chinese being involved, but again, I've got no real idea, so apologies. So yeah, let's hope she wipes these guys all out, to be honest. You know what? Yeah, they are kind of grave robbers in a sense, aren't they? What I do remember from history was learning about medicine history. I was shit at normal history. Fuck knows why I picked up medicine history, and I chose to pick up medicine history. But to actually further the study of medicine, a lot of people would go grave robbing and grave digging to experiment and attend to kind of dead bodies and kind of work with dead bodies, which was obviously illegal. There was a legal way of procuring dead bodies and working on them, but I think a lot of people got quite impatient. But yeah, I'm absolutely fine if any of you disagree with that point I brought up a minute ago. I'm the only person I've ever heard talk about it like that, to be honest with you. I think people are scared of labelling themselves as racist and sexist and so on. Again, I'm totally fine with it because I know everybody else is actually very hypocritical in saying they're not. From my perspective, anyway. Again, in the traditional perspective that everyone looks at it, I'm probably not considered racist or sexist or anything. And many other people aren't either. But again, that's just my line of thought. I try to be quite unbiased, even though everyone's got a bias. I try to look at things from an outside perspective. From multiple perspectives, perhaps. Sure isn't. And this is just like a good thing for the world. This is like win-win. Taking these guys out. I'm not sure why Rock is so fucking... Yeah, he's being so funny about this. They're fucking Nazis, bro. These guys don't... Although, again, as opposed to what I said, that they are human. These guys don't deserve any respect, even in death. Again, if I label myself in the same fashion, if I'm again what I said, sexist and racist, maybe I don't deserve any any respect in death. But again, you guys know, like I said, I think that's just more of a down to earth viewpoint. I'm not going to abuse someone just because of how they look or how they were born or something. I think that's the height of stupidity. But again, I think it's silly to say you don't interact with people differently and treat people and initially view people differently. Like, I've had plenty of white friends, black friends, friends from all over, and with the it's funny, with the black friends I've made, I've actually got on with them a lot quicker and made friends with them a lot quicker than I have any white people, which I find quite interesting. Again, maybe it comes from I think people who do suffer stuff like that, like racism, I think they actually appreciate the fact that you understand that we're different, rather than just trying to force that we're all the same. But apologies about that preaching session. But good episode today, wasn't it? Looks like we will have at least one more part in this. This was a pretty good episode. I think with all stories, the middle is usually quite a good portion of it, but to be honest, I think I'm always like a kind of beginning and end type of guy. Like the middle portion just kind of combines things nicely. And it was pretty good here. I had a really interesting conversation with Revy and Rock during the start here. I thought that was really awesome. Gaining a little bit of insight into Revy's past, but again, just seeing her kind of values and stuff, which again I totally agree with. I do like that fact that you can like, I judge people for sure, and you can judge people on your kind of ethics and your morals and such, but you shouldn't ever force them to change themselves, maybe even in a positive way. Yeah, you shouldn't ever force your own kind of values and such upon them, even if you think what they're doing is wrong. I quite liked the conversation from her on that topic, to be honest with you. I thought that was really cool. I love this scene as well, to be honest. It was quite creepy. But yeah, her talk about the value of stuff as well, I thought was quite interesting. Again, the fact that humans, we created money. Like, money is actually worth nothing, which is hilarious. All the billions of pounds out there is actually worth nothing. It's us that gives that value, and it's the same in the sense of these kind of medals and achievements and stuff like that. I find stuff like that really interesting. If you can't tell, I'm quite interested in kind of philosophy and such, and how people's mind works and so on. Yeah, I wonder if any of you guys kind of resonate with the point I made about the kind of sexism and racism and stuff, and the isms and the phobias and stuff like that. Like I said, I've never heard anyone else talk about it like that, but I feel like that's like I feel like that's, again, as to me, I feel like that's how I should be, if you know what I'm saying, to actually understand that there is like these differences between people. Like, not everyone can be the same, not everyone is born the same. There's so many kind of cultural differences and such. I also like, yeah, as I said, people are just like way too quick to just disregard people nowadays. For like, there's just so many trigger words out there just to disregard other people's opinions that you don't agree with. Like, look at it from their side of things, and maybe there might be something you can take away, even if it is like extreme. There's really not usually much you could take away from that, away from the fact that the person saying stuff like that is an idiot. But that is a takeaway, if you know what I'm saying. People that say stuff like that are idiots, and you shouldn't listen to that stuff. But they might actually have some genuine interest and thoughts about other things. But as opposed to that, maybe there are people that have done terrible things that you shouldn't ever listen to. Again, I'm quite a hypocritical person, I think, so. Yeah, I'm just spouting a load now, so apologies about that. But like I said, lots of interesting kind of topics brought up, to be honest. Not too much going on in terms of action. A little bit of killing towards the end here with the Nazis. I'm just really looking forward to seeing them all get hopefully wiped out by Revy next episode. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment section. Again, let me know what you guys thought about my conversation. Hopefully you can kind of understand. I'm not usually really good at kind of giving my point of view of things across or anything like that. Like, I probably sounded quite terrible during some of that conversation, but I hope you can kind of understand where I'm coming from there. Like, I'm not, yeah, I don't know. I can understand how you might think that would sound bad what I said there, but I think it's actually kind of a positive thing. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 6.